Hey guys, Dad60 back with some more Borderlands 4 information. We're talking endgame, action skill tree balance, rewards, and much more, so let's get right into it. When it comes to the endgame, the devs don't want to reveal everything. In my interview with Randy Pitchford and Andrew Reiner, which you can see here, they mentioned Borderlands 4 has a huge focus on its endgame. In a recent interview with Game Informer, the devs state that it's very ambitious. I care a lot about personality. As my role on Borderlands 3 was curating what became the endgame for that, I know what's important to our community, and that's already built into the game. Like we made purposeful decisions with our action skill tree, assuming what will come in the future with our endgame. It's not a secret that we always eventually do level cap increases, right? That's built into our high level design of saying, okay, if that's going to still be in our future, how can we make our action skill tree this time anticipate that and be balanced from the jump? So we assume we'll have 49 skill points to spend on our Vault Hunters across 3 unique trees, which isn't quite enough to reach a capstone on 2 trees, but with a level increase, you'll be able to pick up 2 different capstones in 2 different trees, or around 3 in the same tree across the different branches. In Borderlands 3, we ended at 72 skill points. It's really a high number, right? And so for the game designer in me, that can create a lot of chaos with how those action skills were designed. You lose build diversity as you add more skill points because everyone's homogeneous, because they all have the same skills ultimately unlocked. We've thought about Borderlands 4's endgame from the jump, and we have some great plans for it that we're going to share, but I think we're taking a lot of the lessons from both Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and Borderlands to make sure that we execute the best version of the endgame yet for Borderlands 4. So we can see this from the sheer size of the skill trees. Like I mentioned, you can only reach 1 capstone at release, and you'll not have even close to enough to fill out the skill trees, even after the DLCs raise the level. So we'll most definitely have a lot more variety in Borderlands 4 than we've ever had. An example I can give is with Rafa. In the middle branch of each of his 3 skill trees, we have an ordnance damage sprinkling. So if you want to make an ordnance build, you have 3 different ordnance paths, and then you have further differences in the excess points you get to spend. One has Peacebreaker cannons dealing ordnance damage, one has you summoning drones and free grenades, another has you dropping nades and absorbing damage to explode like a bomb. Oh, and we can't forget unlimited grenade spam at the cost of your health. The main Borderlands YouTube channel has also released 2 Beyond the Borderlands videos with a lot of fluff, but a few bits of interesting information. So let's go through that now. Borderlands 4 focuses on making things seamless. You get rewards straight away and you don't have to run back to the quest giver to turn missions in. It's a culmination of lessons and mistakes from the other games, and they claim to be leveling up everything across that experience holistically, rather than just focusing on one major area to improve. This sounds to me like they're not fundamentally changing the formula, rather they have invested resources to give us the best things from across all Borderlands titles. One example is the mission tone. Main missions have a mostly serious tone and high stakes, and the silliness will be mostly relegated to side content rather than us getting Borderlands 3's ridiculous tone across the entire game. Rift champions, crawlers, and other activities will be your non-stop bombardment of gunfire, so there is combat-focused content for those who want a challenge or to test out their new skills and gear. But the devs have also looked into the density and the experience of exploration. For example, they've deliberately placed interesting things on the golden path, so you may be tempted to want to explore and be rewarded. These things have been purposely designed to fit in and be part of the zone seamlessly, including world events. One of which we recently got to play was an airship coming down. You can fight a bunch of enemies, then go up into it. You then do things to destroy it and get some loot. It's structured like a Diablo 4 world boss that notifies everyone when it's active. You can do this alone or you can do it with friends. If you jump in at level 30 and your friend is level 3, he won't be disadvantaged or you overpowered. Both can have fun together no matter the level difference. The devs are focusing on density and reward, but they also explain that reward doesn't just mean loot. It can also mean finding new, fun, and interesting things to experience, with the loot there still, of course. Vehicles will be able to be summoned to you in most areas, but how your vehicle looks is independent to how it drives. The parts that influence handling and other stats are separate to the part for external looks, which is different to Borderlands 3, where you choose your base and swap individual parts out, like weapons for example. So you don't need to make the choice between mechanics and looks, though through my own testing, it doesn't seem like we get vehicles that you and your friends can ride in together. Maybe this was a choice they made since everyone can summon a vehicle easily with the press of a button, rather than finding a catch-a-ride. So we got some more information on the Timekeeper. As you know, he thrives on control and order. He's the main villain of the game, and his most evil deed is maintaining control with the bolts he attaches to the base of everyone's neck. The Rippers are a faction that ripped out the bolt. Doing so either kills you or turns you insane. Well, these bolts also give the Timekeeper the ability to see through the target's eyes and ultimately control them. Think of Harbinger in Mass Effect 2, assuming direct control. So this game's villain being able to do that at any time is an ever-present threat needing to be addressed. The devs weren't trying to make the next Handsome Jack, which I feel is a good thing. I just don't think they'd be able to do it like that again. It seems like they have a villain this time that takes himself seriously. The devs wanted to go back to this sense of dread about their villain in the game. He'll be ever present, but not overstaying his welcome. We'll have many factions in the game too. We've been shown the Outbounders already, led by Rush, your lovable coach-like character. The Outbounders crashed on the planet and, because of the Timekeeper, have been unable to leave, so naturally they'll join the Crimson Resistance and fight oppression with you. They're in the starting zone called the Fade Fields. In the mountains, called the Terminus Range, we have a faction called the Orgas, and they're led by Calder. The Electi are the people who have previously lived in the city and enjoyed some benefits of the Timekeeper's rule. But when Elpis arrives, the Electi are left outside the city walls. The city is on lockdown and they're not allowed back in, so naturally their eyes are now open to how bad things are. The Electi's faction leader is named Levain. Each zone of the game has an enemy commander. We've already seen the Fade Fields commander, Idolator Sol. In the Terminus Range, the commander is Viol Lictor. He's an augur that's experimenting with the iridium that the moon Elpis has brought to the planet, so no doubt we'll be fighting some iridium-infused experiments there. In Cadia Burn, we have the Ripper Queen, and like the other Rippers, when Elpis arrived, she realized there was more out there than she was led to believe. She rips out her bolt and encourages her army to do so as well. They are mostly made up of raving mad humans with drastically decreased brain capacity. All this makes for a kind of soft reset. You can jump into Borderlands 4 not having played any of the previous titles. It'll still connect to previous titles, but new players won't be missing out on the fun or the context. So that's everything. What do you think? More or less excited for Borderlands 4? Let me know below. It's set to release September 12th, so we don't have long to wait. To keep up to date, you're in the right place. Ciao, friends.